Welcome back to my channel. I know I look like I'm wearing the same thing I was wearing in the James Charles ticket video, but like I'm not. It's a different sweatshirt. I switched it up on you. No, but I am wearing the same hat because my hair never looks right. So that is that. So, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about the Met Gala. Now, I don't want to go through the looks of the Met Gala. I'll tell you who looked cute. Lupita looked cute. I thought Kendall Jenner looked cute. Whatever. I don't even want to do all that because it's useless. But what I do want to talk about is James Charles at the Met Gala because it opens up a bigger discussion that I have had at my channel. Now, first of all, James Charles looked a mess. Now, I want to say something that's kind of bothering me a little bit, just a little. Okay, my intentions are never to be mean to James Charles. My criticism always comes from a place of pure what I see and what I get from it. Like, James Charles can't sing. James Charles' ticket prices are too high. James Charles is greedy. James Charles is a narcissist. James Charles has been a predator, allegedly. So these are things that have happened. My criticism always comes with critique. It is a critique of something I have seen. So I could get on my channel and do a whole thing about how James Charles looked absolutely a mess at the Met Gala, which he did, but that's not constructive. What I do want to say about the Met Gala is James Charles is not that person who should care about the Met Gala. Like, I just feel like James Charles has become so full of himself, and the Met Gala and how no one paid attention to him is just proof that maybe you ain't what you thought you were. Like, when he was walking up the steps and more people were paying attention to Tiffany Haddish having fried chicken than him walking the carpet, you should know it. You're not that. Like, let's humble ourselves just a little bit. You weren't even cordially invited by the Met Gala or by Vogue. YouTube, okay, let me break it down for you. YouTube companies get tickets to the Met Gala, and you can send people to the Met Gala on your behalf. So it's, for example, why Emma Chamberlain went to that Louis Vuitton fashion show. YouTube got the tickets, and YouTube was able to bring someone to sit in YouTube's ticket. They could have taken anyone, but the Louis Vuitton show, they took Emma Chamberlain, and for the Met Gala, they took James Charles. Boom. So what does that tell you guys? Does that not fall perfectly in line with my video where I said YouTube only promotes white people? They could have taken anyone on the platform to the Met Gala, but they take problematic James Charles. It'd be one thing if James Charles was like family friendly. It'd be one thing if James Charles was just, squeaky clean JoJo Siwa. That's the thing. I would understand them taking JoJo Siwa to the Met Gala than James Charles. James Charles is not someone who you would think YouTube would put at the forefront of their company. He has been caught in racist scandals. He has been caught in predatory scandals. He has been caught in so many scandals. And a wider consensus on social media is that most people don't like James Charles. The people who like James Charles are his fans. And then there's everyone else who either doesn't care about James Charles or simply just hate. They don't like him at all. So it's weird that he was the one they chose to be at the Met Gala. But you would think James Charles talks all this shit, and he talks about how much he is that girl, and he has this, and this, and fashion, and fashion, and fashion. So why did that man show up looking like a chandelier? Why did he look like he got caught in the chandelier of his house? It made no sense whatsoever. So I'm just like, James, why are you so boring? Why are you so boring? But for the past year or so, he's been fighting for representation of YouTubers on a bigger scale. That makes no sense to me. Like, he said this more than once. For example, when it came out that someone was asking for $60,000 to promote makeup, it was him who came out who said he wanted $60,000, and he said The reason why YouTubers should get $60,000 is because they pay celebrities more. Okay, let me just give you some marketing negotiations, James Charles. Saying you deserve something because they pay someone else more is not an actual scheme. It's not an actual way to get what you want just by saying someone else gets more of. They're just basically saying they're not giving it to you. Like, you can't just be like, well, my neighbor makes $50,000. So since we, live in the same apartment, I think I should make as much as them because, we pay the same bills. No, that is not, you can't say that. You make what you make what you are worth. But James Charles has constantly said, we're like celebrities, we're influencers, we get more likes on things, we get more subscribers on things, our videos we put on YouTube get more money than the videos that they put on YouTube. Let me break another thing down for you, James Charles. It's all about what you do. For example, if Kylie Jenner puts up an Instagram photo, her Instagram photo is probably going to get more likes than a Beyonce Instagram photo. Not because one is more popular than the other, not because people like one more than the other. It is because that is her realm. Her realm is Instagram. People go to Instagram to look at Kylie Jenner. She has put focus in Instagram. But if Kylie Jenner puts out an album and Beyonce puts out an album, people are going to go buy the Beyonce album instead of the Kylie Jenner album because Beyonce puts work in that realm. Period. So when you as a YouTuber say we get more interactions than regular celebrities, it is because that is your brand. Your brand is literally being, like I said in my video, personable. Your brand is to attract, you attract people. People get online to see you. People don't get online to see other celebrities who do totally other things. It's no different than James. If you put a movie out in the freaking theaters, no one's gonna go see it because that's not what you do. But if you go put a video on YouTube, people will go watch it because it is your realm. So saying that you deserve to be treated the same way as certain celebrities because you bring in the same amount of traction just isn't true. You're comparing things that can't be compared. They can't be compared. And what other people are doing, some people would say it's more lucrative than what you guys are doing. These celebrities have been able to bring in so much money for these companies for such a long period of time. And unfortunately for YouTubers, the same thing can't be said. There is a specific market for YouTubers. I would say people from the age of 10 and 17-year-olds, those are the people who market YouTubers. That is it. That's why it makes no sense for Emma Chamberlain to be at a Louis Vuitton fashion show, because what person who looks up to Emma Chamberlain is going to buy Louis Vuitton? They don't have the money. It won't do anything. It does nothing for them. So for people like James Charles and Emma to do things that other celebrities do, it doesn't make any sense. You're not in that realm. You don't attract adults. Now, there are young celebrities who do attract bigger audiences because they do things that bigger people look at, that people older than the age of 25 look at. They go to movies, they listen to music. So they attract people who are older. They attract wider ranges of people than just YouTubers. Like I said, YouTubers attract a specific audience. If I go to my mother and ask her who James Charles is, she has no clue. If I go to my older sister who has a third child on the way, who's only 26, and ask her, do you know who James Charles is? I don't think she will know who James Charles is, because there is a specific audience for James Charles people. It is people who are on YouTube, who are aware of popular internet culture. I don't even think my little brother or my older brother would know who James Charles is. You're just not that type of celebrity, and that is okay. It is okay to be an influencer. So when people come out and they're like, do I think people are a little too mean to James Charles? No, because James Charles has never shown me anything that would say he's not just as mean back. We've seen his DMs. We've seen the way he's treated people. He's just as mean back, but you don't have to answer meanness to meanness. So do I think people are too mean. I thought people were a little too harsh about his Met Gala look. Everyone looks a fool at the Met Gala. My only issue, like I said, with James Charles' Met Gala look is the fact that this was your chance to shine. Who knows if YouTube is going to invite you back next year? So they'll probably give their ticket to someone else. So unless you just have this huge surge, who knows if you'll be back? So I know me personally, see, it's a hard window. Because we saw at the Met Gala, no one knew who the hell James Charles was. I haven't seen James Charles in a single celebrity picture. So people must have thought he was the help. And sadly, he looked like the help. Have you guys ever watched like red carpet shows and like the person on the red carpet who's handing out the waters, they're still dressed nicely, but they're not dressed nice enough to where you think they are actually a celebrity, but they look good. That's what he looked like. He looked like help. He looked like someone who's supposed to hand the actual celebrities water. And it's just like, so I see what he was trying to do, because you can't go too extreme. Because here's the thing, if no one knows who you are and you go you're just out of the box, people are going to be like, who is that no name who's dressing like that? So you don't want to do that, I guess. But then going under, being not looking good at all, also makes you look like you just what are you here for? So he just couldn't find that happy medium. But he missed it so far that I'm just what were you doing? To me personally, I would go out of the box and not give a fuck. If I'm going to the Met Gala, I'm stepping out. I am stepping out on y'all. But he didn't step out. And so you hear all this mess. James Charles talking about his labels, fashions. But he stepped out looking like that. His Coachella outfits was cuter than the one he showed up to with the Met Gala. And it didn't make no sense to me. I'm like, you're fighting. And he has a whole Instagram post about this if you want to know what I'm talking about. You're fighting for representation for influencers. Can influencers shut up about this fact that they're not represented? They're not given the respect they deserve. Influencers are the biggest crocs of shit. And I say that because I've never seen a group of people take themselves so seriously. This goes back to when I was saying they ain't never had shit. You can tell they are just people who maybe in high school, they weren't cool. Everyone made fun of them. So now that they're at the cool kids table, they need everyone to know they're at the cool kids table. It's just no one's telling you not to aspire to greatness, but you're not underprivileged. Be happy with what you have. Who would have ever thought there would be a YouTuber at the Met Gala? Not to mention two of you, because Liza Koshy was there too. So be happy about that. Why do you feel like you have to switch up realms? You have to be happy with where you are. You're not I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then when you do get the chance to go to the Met Gala, that's how you look. No one pays attention to you. Was it sad a little to see you walk up the Met Gala stairs and me not see one flash your way? We've seen literally 2 pictures of you at the Met Gala. And it's probably because no one else took pictures of you. They were saving their damn film for other people who were more relevant. And it's just because that's not your realm, James Charles. Emma Chamberlain at the Louis Vuitton fashion show. It's not your realm. I'm not telling them not to be there. I gain nothing from them going, them not being there. I would love to go to the Met Gala one day, but I want to go for a reason. I want to be invited to the Met Gala. I want to actually be accepted for something I did. I don't want a handout, YouTube having to send me. And we're going to get on YouTube sending James Charles again in a second. I don't want them to have to send me to the Met Gala and then me make a whole post about this is a step forward for representation. YouTubers are the biggest narcissist I've ever seen. You had Nikki Tutorials in the comments yeah, blaze the trail. Y'all treat people like shit. Y'all take advantage of your consumers. Y'all don't do anything that's worthy of being in the spaces that you want to be in. Y'all don't have media training. Y'all argue with everyone. You're swindling people. Y'all doing so much stuff that shows you're not even ready to hang with the big boys. Stop taking yourself so seriously. That's what it boils down. Stop taking yourself so seriously. So yes, do I feel like people are a little mean to James Charles about his Met Gala look? Yes. He didn't look crazy in the sense if he was going to Coachella, he wouldn't have looked that bad. But for the Met Gala, it was just off. It was so off. I did think it was a little sketchy that Nikita Dragon said, if I went to the Met Gala, they had to kick me out for being too extra. It's one of those things that's easy to say until you're invited. If Alexander Wang makes you something, like I'm assuming no other designer wanted to make James Charles a dress or make him a fit. So he had to get Alexander Wang, which is no small feat, but Alexander Wang isn't fucking Versace. It's not fucking Alexander McQueen. It's sure he had to do the best he could do. But me personally, I would have went to a costume store and I would have got it was camp. Like, it's so hard to mess up camp. Like, just don't be boring. Like, you could literally do anything and not mess up camp. And I just thought it was funny. I'm like, James, you have the most to say. You always have the most to say about everything. You sat there and you went in on all the Met Gala looks last year. You had something to say about everything. Then you get your chance. You get your chance and you flop. How do you get a chance and flop? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But nevertheless, back to YouTube. Let me drag YouTube for a second. Remember how I said YouTube only broadcasts white people? Lo and behold, look at the two people who they decide to bring to events. Emma Chamberlain and James Charles. What did I say? YouTube has stock in certain YouTubers. Emma Chamberlain is one, James Charles is the other. That's why anytime either of them puts out a video, it is on everyone's recommended page for no apparent reason. YouTuber is not this place of prosperity that it pretends to be. Everyone cannot prosper. Everyone can't. Of course, you put in the work and people will find you. But the way that those two people specifically have been able to flourish is not organic. Organic? Okay, Kenya. Organic. YouTube has plucked those two and put them in position to where everyone on YouTube knows who the hell they are. Everyone recommended. They're always on the trending page. They're always going to events. They're always doing this, that, and the third. And it's not organic. So you're not going to come to me, black ass Kenya, and telling me everyone has an opportunity when you have shown me everyone does not have an opportunity. They don't, because you're sending James Charles, problematic James Charles, to the Met Gala. And it's just like, all the people, next you're going to send Jeffree Star, I guess. Like, all the people you could have brought. I can think, like, Liza Koshy, and Vogue invited Liza Koshy, so she's not one of the people. But, like, I could understand inviting celebrities like celebrities, influencers like Liza Koshy. That would make sense because she does, for the most part, make family-friendly content. She makes content that would reach everyone, and she hasn't been doing, she doesn't do problematic things. So that would make sense. But Emma Chamberlain curses like hell on every single video. She talks about explicit things. Like, neither of these two people are family friendly. And I promise you, if it was any other person of color, they would not be giving these opportunities. You're giving opportunities to people who don't do, like, James isn't even the best in his community. Like, there's better makeup people. Like, explain to me why those two people were the people chose to go to the Met Gala and chose to go to the Louis Vuitton show. Explain why those are the two people who were chosen. It doesn't make any sense. So, James, they could be nicer to you, but, like, do you deserve to be nicer? Like, that's the thing. For me to see here on my channel and be like, should we be nicer to James Charles? Does he deserve to be treated nicer? Like, has he showed anything that will make you say we should be nicer to James Charles? Do I think people blow everything about him out of proportion? Definitely. Like, some of the things he does isn't that bad, and, like, people are just like, but, like, the whole poor influencer, like, they've been going on and on and on about this trope for the past 2 years. The poor influencer who doesn't get to go to red carpets, who doesn't get to go to the Met Gala, who doesn't get to create your own spaces. And I'm not saying that in a sense like, oh, you can't sit with us, create your own spaces because we don't want you here type of way. I'm saying it that doesn't belong to you. You guys aren't those types of celebrities. You are influencers. Create your own Vogue Gala thing that would make sense, because until then, you're going to have a bunch of James Charles walking up the steps and not a single flick is being taken of them. It's just not your realm. It's not the same way if some of those celebrities created YouTube channels, no one would watch them because it's not their lane. Everyone has a lane and it's just not yours. And you proved that, James Charles, when you came in your Coachella fit to the Met Gala. It's not your lane. It's not your lane. And that's okay. That is okay.